On BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East. Afternoon from Simon, and now it's time for my After Two guests. We always have somebody on our show who we love to have a chat with. Today's is no stranger to our TV screens, because if you're a fan of Strictly, I'm sure you'll know who it is. Her name is Joanne Clifton. Well, she partnered Ori, and of course her brother is also in it. She comes from a dancing family. Keep dancing. But this week she's doing something a little bit different here in Newcastle at the Theatre Royal. Find out more next with Joanne Clifton on the show. It's BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East. With Dire Straits, so the award-winning musical Thoroughly Modern Millie is wowing them this week at Newcastle's Theatre Royal. It features the talents of a woman who describes herself as, and I quote, not stagey at all, can sing a bit, can dance a bit, can act a bit, loves pies. Oh yeah, and Strictly winner 2016. Her name is Joanne Clifton. It was a pleasure to catch up with her this morning. Of all those things, what would you most like to be remembered for?
The pies.
The pies! Not the Strictly, not the acting, not the pie.
Chicken and mushroom.
I don't believe
with a bit of mash.
I don't believe. But that's very modest of you. You strike me as a kind of very down-to-earth person in an industry that's full of divas, you know.
Well, there's some divas, but the thing is, I'm from Grimsby, obviously, my brother, and before my grandma died, whose rings I always wear, she said to me, now, it doesn't matter what you do in life, wherever you go, whatever you win, whatever you where you travel, if you're on TV, if you're in competitions, whatever, always remember where you come from, and you come from Grimsby, so calm down.
Grimsby. A very nice place. Very nice place, Grimsby.
Oh, it's lovely.
I've been to Grimsby. It smells a bit of fish, but that's all right.
Best fish and chips you'll ever eat.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
It is.
Yeah, that's true. So pies, you mentioned there.
Yes.
What makes a good pie? And what's your favourite sort of pie?
It's definitely chicken and mushroom.
Right.
With a bit of mash. And then you want some, maybe some mushy peas and some gravy or something like that. But I must admit, Cornish pasties are up there. I don't know whether that counts as a pie.
Well, it is a sort of pie, really, isn't it, I suppose?
It is.
Different type of pastry.
Yeah, I love Cornish pasties when I'm travelling on a train.
Never put them in a microwave, though.
Why?
Because they go all soggy.
Do they?
Yeah, they have to be sort of crisp, don't they, your Cornish pasties? If they go all soggy, the pastry...
Yeah.
Forget it.
Interesting
fact. Game over.
Interesting fact. You know the edge of a Cornish pasty?
Yes.
Do you know why it's, hard at the edge?
No.
It's because they used to make them for the miners, and because they used to get all the coal and stuff on their hands, they would that was for them to hold the pie.
Oh, almost like a sort of handle sort of thing.
Yeah.
No way.
You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Learn something new every day.
Being here in the North East, obviously steeped in mining history, should have known that about that. Anyway, now we've got the important stuff out of the way. Thoroughly Modern Millie, stage version of a 1967 film. Mm-hmm. I know you're coming to the end of the tour now.
I know.
You've been doing this for 6 months, is that right?
It's gone so fast. We've been doing it since January, and now we've got 5 shows left. It's awful. I'm going to be so sad.
That's the game, though, isn't it? For you people.
It is.
You move on to something else, and then something else.
They've kind of become like a family to me, my Millie family, the cast. I've been so lucky to have such a wonderful cast and crew and production, everybody, to be honest. I mean, they're just so lovely. I've made some great friends who I think I'll be friends with for a lifetime now, but I'm going to be so upset Saturday night. I'm going to cry. For
people that don't know anything about it, who is Millie?
Right, Millie Dilmount is a 19-year-old, and she takes herself off away from her family to New York to pursue her dreams. Now, her dreams are just to to get a job and marry her boss, who would be a rich man, in order to live the modern life, with the bobbed hair and the going out dancing and the flapper dresses and the Charlestons and just living that life. But she learns an important lesson through the musical, and if you want to find out what the lesson is, you have to come and see it.
I thought you were going to say that. Joanne Clifton is my guest at the moment. More with her and her dancing career so far, and also how getting a role in a musical, just because she's been on the telly, wasn't going to be a soft option for her. She says she had to do it right. think she's doing it pretty well. More with Joanne next on BBC Newcastle, Radio for the North East. Favourite songs through the afternoon. You're listening to BBC Newcastle. This is Simon Logan. Hello. Joanne Clifton is my guest. She's been on Strictly for 3 years and, of course, was part of the winning duo last year. Now appears this week at the Theatre Royal in Newcastle as Millie in Thoroughly Modern Millie. Joanne told me that getting the role wasn't going to be the soft option because she had to be able to sing, dance, act, and, well, you know, just about everything, really. So Joanne is on our show this afternoon here on BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. I asked her to tell me a little bit more about the whole experience.
I didn't want to be a person that just came in without the training and stepped into a UK tour just because I was on Strictly. I wanted to prove that I was good, because if that had have happened and I haven't trained and I hadn't started out lower down and worked my way up, if I'd gone on as Millie and been rubbish, I wouldn't have got a job after that. It would have just been a one-off thing. I think it's the way my parents brought me up and my coaches in Italy, that to get results, you do need to work hard. So that's what I've wanted
That's what
to
you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Tell me about Strictly, because a lot of people will know you for that. 2016 champion. How was it? Were you concerned with chins and fainting?
Yes, I was. Yeah. Well, because we didn't expect to win at all, and you could tell that from my face with the double chins, because our goal when we started, obviously Ori hadn't danced before. He had talent and he had rhythm, but he hadn't danced at all, like not at a theatre school or whatever. Our goal was Blackpool. That was it. We were like, the only goal we're going to give ourselves is let's get to Blackpool.
Right from the offset, you set your heart on that. I was like, you haven't
danced before. You know, it would be great for you to dance in Blackpool Tower Ballroom. It's a great experience. So let's make that our goal. So we did, and then we just carried on and carried on and carried on. We were in a few dance-offs and carried on. Got to the final, which was probably one of the best nights of my life. The moment that we got to the final, because also Kevin got to the final, and the same day my parents were sat in the audience. Like, that was really emotional for us. We said to ourselves, like, the week of training for it, we were like, well, Danny is just amazing. So is Louise, and Louise hasn't been at any dance-off at all, not once.
That's right.
So I said, we both said, we were like, we've got no chance. So do you know what we'll do? It's like the last time that we're going to dance together, because I wasn't doing a tour because I was doing Millie. Let's just go out there, enjoy every last second of it, and just show people what we called ourselves Team Ojo could do. And that's what we did, and I think it paid off.
Ori, when you first met him, how important is it that you actually get on with the person? What if they're really good, you know, and they're willing to learn, but you don't really get on with them? As
a pro, it's our job to kind of adjust to their personalities anyway. I've been very, very lucky with all my partners. I danced with Scott Mills, Russell Grant, Harry Judd, Stephen McGann, and now Ori, and I've got on with all of them. I've been very lucky.
Apart from Ori.
They're all my favourites.
Da, da, da.
No, obviously, for different reasons. Right, with Scott Mills, okay, he wasn't the best dancer, but...
He was rubbish.
You know, but we had a laugh. Russell Grant, I must be honest, has become one of the most important people in my life.
Love Russell Grant.
I'm his showbiz goddaughter.
So you're still like good mates with Russell Grant, are you?
Oh, totally. I'm always around his house for sleepovers watching Barbra Streisand films.
Wow.
And then Stephen McGann, I only danced with him for a week for Children in Need, but like we had the best time. We were like we would do dancing exercises and he'd just be singing, which is my dream, like just like being in a musical.
And Harry's a nice guy, isn't
he?
Harry's a nice fella. Met him a few times.
He's lovely.
Listen, let's talk some more. We got Joanne Clifton on the show. She's from a family that is steeped in showbiz. She's competed against her brother Kevin in Strictly. Was there any rivalry going on? Sibling rivalry. We always hear about that. Hold that thought, would you please? It's on the show this afternoon. Joanne Clifton. You can catch her all this week in Newcastle's Theatre Royal latest production, which is Thoroughly Modern Millie. So I had to ask her about her brother, who she appeared alongside in Strictly. Of course, her brother is called Kevin. There must have been some sibling rivalry going on there, Joanne.
He's my older brother. He's a year and 11 days older than me. So we're very close. People think we're twins, but he's actually a year older. As kids, he was the competitive one, and I wasn't at all. Like, we'd do competitions, and if we didn't win or get the result that we wanted, he'd throw tantrums. He'd be crying. I'd just be like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. You know, the judges are old. They probably can't
worry.
see properly. It's fine. I was that one. And then as we grew older, it changed, and I was a really competitive one. Kevin stopped competing before I did because he wanted to go into theatre and dance. He went into Burn the Floor, which is a dance theatre show, and I carried on because I was like, no, I need to become world champion. I want to make it, and I carried on until I was 13. Eventually got there. Came over. We do Strictly. Yes, okay. I still want to get him back. You know, I wanted to get him back for like the times that he'd practice his wrestling moves on me.
It was still there.
You know, he did roll me up in a sleeping bag and roll me around the room for an hour and a half until I was sick. That kind of stuff I needed to get him back for. So, bless him, he has made the final 4 times and never won.
And you have. No.
Yeah, but I did say sorry. I mean, I think as you can tell from, well, as anyone can tell from the reactions of us on the balcony when we're watching each other, we are very supportive of each other, obviously. And when the cameras went off after we'd won, first thing I did was go and say sorry to him, but he just put his hands on my shoulders and he was like, don't ever say that again, because there's no one in this world who could be prouder of you than I am right now. He said,
is that what he said?
He said, you're my little sister and I need you to do well in life.
Oh, Joanne.
I know.
Start me off now. Was it a very difficult choice to say, right, I'm leaving Strictly? Because did you want to leave it on a high? What was the deal? You know, because why not do more of it? You were so great.
Well, I'm the type of person that when I achieve something, I move on to the next goal, straight away. When I managed to win, well, without sounding big-headed here, but when I managed to win the World Championships, as I was stood on the podium, I was like, that's it. I'm done with competing.
Don't need to do that again because
I've done it. That is my goal. It's been my goal since I was 4, and now I've done it. Moving on. So I went on to Strictly. We didn't expect to win it, but we managed to, and then I was like, okay, done that. I may as well follow my childhood dream now, and there's not a more perfect time, really. If I went in it again next year, I imagine I probably wouldn't win it.
And you might always be thinking, I know it's an awful thing to say, but you might always be thinking, this will never be as good as last year. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
You won it.
I don't know.
It's a very brave decision, but it's a great one,
It was
Joanne.
very, very difficult for me because Strictly is the biggest and best show on TV, and I was so honoured and grateful to be a part of it and to win it as well. It is a massive thing.
Why should we not miss Thoroughly Modern Millie?
It is a show that appeals to everyone. It's funny. There's a lot of dancing in it. There's tap. It's set in 1922. You've got that kind of glamour. You've got the Charleston. You've got the pearls. You've got the bobbed hair. So I love it.
Well, listen, Joan, thank you for making the time to come and see us
Thank
here
you
on
for
the show
having me.
on BBC Newcastle. And you can catch it all this week at Newcastle's Theatre Royal, Thoroughly Modern Millie.